Right, guys, and welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. Evening, mate. How are we doing?
You sounded that like you were surprised it was me.
Well,
I
no,
enjoyed it. A
it's,
little bit of
it's
extra
good.
enunciation. I loved it.
I'm feeling much better because I can actually feel like I can talk properly today. I've been full of a cold for the last week, so I feel like I have to say all of my words properly.
Boom.
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
I feel like I'm going the other way. I've had a sick child all week, and I feel like it's just about being like he's gonna push it on me.
You'll be all right in a day or so.
As we're here, we are streaming whilst Tottenham are playing, and Tottenham have just scored.
Oh, good. I'm not watching it. I was supposed to be watching it, but my streams died on it. So this is
professionals.
This is commitment to the cause, mate. Commitment to the cause. I've even sort of taken us up culture-wise. Look at this little glass of red wine. Just
antioxidants.
Yeah,
keep you healthy.
Yeah, all good, mate.
I've got a cup of tea.
I've already had a cup of tea, mate, which means I'll probably be pissing in a short while. The old diuretic. So game week 13. You know, you sent me the Rob T thing, and I was like, well, looks okay, but that's nothing really sticks out as like a really big thing. I guess you said it on Sunday. It was like that Man City Liverpool game is obviously softening everything, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not entirely excited about this game week.
I know what you mean. I feel like it looks pretty good for lots of players, but would I be surprised if it's not very good as well? Not really. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? And I think everyone's team looks okay.
Yeah. Well, mine bloody should have taken 12 points worth of hits in the last 2 weeks. It better look good.
Yeah, but I do think as well recently that's been a good way to play. Obviously, right, in the last few weeks, it's been a good way to play if part of your hits were also taking out Haaland.
Yeah.
That's almost made it that it's worked pretty well for most people. It's been a big few weeks of swings, really, on that Haaland Haaland thing.
But people who are already in that position, like people who were there early, people who were there, like even like you, for example, perfect example.
Yeah, I went as early as I could be in it.
As possible, you know, you get in weeks of like 70s, 80s and that sort of thing in the last couple of weeks. And then for me, I'm just trying to keep up with my hits. And so it feels like it has worked because you're not losing any points from your hits, but at the same time, others are actually still making gains on you, 20, 30 points. Like I have net 53, you know, and yeah, it was literally around the average.
But I do think, just in general, so like we're good friends with Praz, and we're good friends with Harry, and I definitely haven't got a similar play style to them, but I like to think I'm a little bit similar to them. But for the last few years, whenever I've looked at their teams, I'm always like, well, I'm 2 moves behind them.
Yeah.
It's always something in it. It's always like 1 move, 2 moves behind them. And it does make you think, like, some people are just really good elite planners, but also they're also quite resilient in terms of what they want to do. You know, so a couple of weeks ago, you know, me and Praz were chatting, and I was like, I can't stand Calvert-Lewin. Like, I'm going to move Wood in. I can't do it any longer. I'm just going to bring Wood in. Even if it breaks him, I'll bring him in. And he was like, I'm just going to roll Calvert-Lewin out for 1 more week. And then that enables him, you know, he kept that transfer. And if I was still making that decision this week, I'd be like, well, I'd have Joao Pedro. I wouldn't have Wood. And that's how these guys, you know, so I definitely think there's some learning for us of how do we be stronger. But then I'm not sure we ever will be.
I don't know. I'm glad you said that, because I feel like we say this about this time of the season every year. Is we go, what we should learn is this. And then we get to this point, we're like, yeah, we're still behind. And, you know, along that thought process, Sertout rolled out his little algorithm that shows you how your little doppelganger within the Content Creators League on FPL Game Week. I have never ever seen anyone be my doppelganger ever. If you want to measure of how I play the game and like the play it your way, my team, my emotion, no one's ever tagged me in one of those replies
I
ever.
must admit, I got tagged in one of them, and even then I was like, more for you.
No one ever wants to copy me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really understand why people would. Yeah, so therefore, I do think because I'm never going to be as good as planning as the likes of Praz or Harry and so forth, I do think I should, like, I am more open to hits with those ones because I'm like, well, I'll go. We've talked about side quests before, but we'll go on a little side quest. We'll try and, glean some points from something else that we think that we see is fun. And then I might have to take the odd bit of medicine just to get myself back on track. Um, yeah, we'll do more. And I mean, after this week, it gets real busy.
Hmm.
So we're going to do next week, we're going to do a Sunday pod sort of cover review and the next game week because it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, we probably would do one on Monday, but I've already called that as an absolute no because of work. There's like zero chance I'm getting anything done on Monday other than work.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will do like Sunday will be like review / team for next week, and then
All
so
right.
we might do a bit longer. Yeah, YouTube loves a 2 hour.
Maybe we'll.
2 hour
Well,
slot.
the point is we'll have to challenge ourselves to be really rapid on each of the games because
Yeah.
what's the point? Do you know what I mean? With 2 days before it turns around.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
promise for anyone who turns in tonight and listens to Sunday, you're like, oh my God, we'll be quick. And you can shout at us in the YouTube chat if we are too long.
Sounds good. Well, in the interest of speed, then, do you want to should we just go through a bit of admin and then crack on with the old Rob T graphics? We haven't done it in a while, so I thought I'd chuck up the leagues. Obviously, the game week finished for game week 12. So shout out to everyone that's in our public league and everyone is our Discord. You told me to change it from Discord league, didn't you? So let me just change that to Patreon league. So shout out to everyone who is in our Patreon league. We'll start with you guys. So your guess is still top there. Obviously, wildcards this week, 88 points. Tough life. 824 points, absolutely smashing it. Arwin still smashing it in second. I think these guys haven't moved. Richard Mellor in third, Lee Kennedy in fourth, and Antonis Antonopoulos in fifth. Well done to you guys. You can read the ones 6 to 10, as always. I'll only read the top 5. And then waltzing in at number 1 in the public league is Alex, who was in the chat on the weekend, and he went in from number 5, and now he's number 4 in the world. So shout out to Alex.
So he went from 5 to 4 because he joined our chat on Sunday to say he had Hall and Isak playing on Monday night.
That's it.
And their combined 3 points got him up one.
Got him another place. Yep. Man. So shout out to Alex. And then Chris Moss in second with 855, 30 points behind him. Like, Chris must have been sat at the top like, yes, this is nice. Nope. And then third, Chris Costa. Fourth, Marius Engan. And fifth, Grant Freer. So well done to you guys. Top 5. Again, read the rest of the top 10. If you want to join in the public league, you've got a few more weeks. Not many. There's not many weeks left now. So MGORK2 is the code. MGORK2. End of game week 19. That will shut away. While you're here, if you enjoy the chat, please do drop a like on the video. Really would appreciate that. And we're trying to get to 10,000 subs by the end of the year. So just past 9, trying to get to 10. It's Christmas coming up.
We need your help.
We need your help, basically. So do that. If you're listening on podcast, drop us a review. Let us know. Let us know what you think. And as I say, if you're on YouTube as well, drop a comment and let us know what you're doing for this week. And if you have any questions as well after this, obviously a short turnaround between this video going out and the game week deadline, which is tomorrow evening, Friday, 6:30 UK time. Is that right? Yeah. Cool. And then just a final shout out. If you want to join us over on Patreon, it's patreon.com/aboveaveragefpl. Loads of games going on over there at the moment, which is just reminding me I better send the links out for that so people can actually enter them, which will be useful. And then if you want to join the league, the Patreon league, and you beat Baker in November, which you can do still if you join this week, you have to be in before the game week starts. Never Say Die Bourbon is on the line, and if you're in the UK and you finish above Baker for the month of November, then you'll be in the draw to win a bottle of Never Say Die Bourbon.
Boom.
Easy peasy, right?
And happy Thanksgiving to those that celebrate.
Happy Thanksgiving to those that celebrate. Yeah.
Our boy Crypto Dan, who sports a pod, he's a big Chicago Bears fan, and it's NFL Thursday for all of that stuff. And They're playing. He's a big Chicago Bears fan. They're playing the Detroit Lions, who are
Getting
the
battered, aren't
favourites
they?
for the Super Bowl. They're back. There's only 3 points in it with 2 minutes left. So he will not be watching us right now. I can tell
Oh
you
no,
that much.
absolutely not. No, no chance.
Um,
Let's get on to the games, mate. Let's go.
let's do it.
So again, for anyone who doesn't watch regularly, we look at the data that comes from Rob T, the SpreadX market data, looking at the expected goals of each team within their matchup for the week, as well as the percentage chance of a clean sheet. What we're really looking for is teams that are going to score or are expected to score 2 or more goals, and defenses that are 40% or more likely to clean, basically. That's kind of the benchmark that we're looking for. So for those that are listening, those teams that we are kind of honing in on today really are Brighton, 2.45 goals, Chelsea, 2.1 at home to Villa, Tottenham at home to Fulham, 2.25, Brentford at home to Leicester, 2.05, Arsenal away at West Ham, 2.15 and 42% chance of a clean sheet, and then United at home to Everton, 2.05 and 40% chance of a clean sheet. So they're the sort of big hitters. So where do you want to start, mate?
I think just in general, what you said there is I'll always like the little shall we look at the defense type space. So Arsenal defense is the clean, opportunity, which is only 42%. It's not a banker. We've got United.
I think
And
that's
then we
more.
moved
I think that's more on Everton than United. I feel like
It's
that's more
definitely
about
more
Everton.
than on that. But then we've got Forest and we've got Brighton in amongst it. And this is the start of the run, I guess, for Brighton in terms of better fixtures. What do you think about their defence? Because I think a lot of people are looking at defenders and cheap defenders that they've got and thinking, or Rico Lewis, for example, and guys like that. Obviously, I've got Mikolenko but there's lots of people that have got all sorts of defenders. What do you think about Brighton in terms of Dunks? Obviously sounds about like he's back in training. When we did the BPS one, we've looked at like Verbruggen as a good option. And we've also got Van Heck, who's decent in terms of
Yeah,
his
I mean,
baseline. Do you like it?
the only thing I don't like is that there's a whole lot of changes happening. Like 2 weeks ago, Cardioglu was back there.
Yeah,
Cardioglu,
Kadioglu.
Cardioglu. There's no R in there. Cardioglu. That's right. Cardioglu was in there, and obviously now that's a Stupinan. On the right hand side, Veltman. I mean, Veltman's been there all season, to be fair.
Yeah,
But like Dunk Van Heck, seems fine, seems okay. But I just wonder with all the changes that are going on at the moment, I'd want to see it before I can trust it. Maybe.
You got Igor too, haven't you? Who can
Well,
play centre
exactly.
back or left back? There's a lot of guys. Webster, but I'm assuming Webster's probably pretty marginalised in that back line. But I just feel like, am I going to get a lot from him? Like, I don't ever feel like I'm getting a lot of attack from them. The cleans never feel that trustworthy for them.
But when we went through the BPS pod, it was really like focus on the two frontmen, right? And it was really, we were heavily focused on Welbeck and Joao Pedro. And I think if you look outside of that, I think all you'd really want to look at is Mitoma. And I know, like Jorginho makes up the 4 up top, but outside of that,
it's got to be Matoma though, isn't it?
Yeah, but but I feel like that's the attack. So I'm not really thinking about Veltman or Purvis in an attacking sense. So can I rely on them for cleans? Now, I mean, obviously Southampton at home is going to be the prime fixture. So like, if you want them, get them in now. But they've got Fulham, then they're away at Fulham, away at Leicester, and then they've got their non-derby game against Palace, away at West Ham. It's a pretty good run, and then at home to Brentford, that's a decent fixture. I don't know. I think if you've got a Brighton player, I think you're playing him, but I don't think I wouldn't be looking to buy one unless you're just literally going to park him there, and just leave him. So Van Heck's probably okay because he's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
I think that's probably my take for that.
If you've got a Forest or a Brentford defender this week, then so if you own a Pinnock or an Ina, Murillo, Milenkovic, any of those guys, then you definitely play them this week.
Yeah.
They're good plays. They're good plays. Um, I think it's the same as what been going on recently. It's like I look at my guys and I'm like, Lewis, nah, not doing that away at Liverpool, and who
No.
knows if he even plays. Um, Possibly play Greaves.
I mean, you could do.
Play Greaves over Mikalenko. The bonus of playing Greaves, if it looks like he's going to play, is that it's like an insurance policy against Wood for me, isn't it?
Well,
I get
I mean,
you,
you
you
can.
know you're feeling a lot of hedging, but it's like
You haven't got any
at
United
least you got
attackers.
something.
Play Mikalenko, mate. That's
Yeah,
you're not you
Mikalenko.
know. I mean, I'm not going to tell you any different. You're not going to get any other advice from me on that one.
Nah,
I'm pretty
it's
tunnel
not.
vision on that.
I mean, 13, 15, 16, 17%. You're looking at 1 pointers.
Yeah, so it's probably not a big deal.
It's
So
probably not a big
if it
deal.
makes you feel happy, then yeah, play Greaves.
Greaves has probably got the most attacking threat. I know obviously Mikalenko nearly scored, but Greaves, at least from set pieces, has got some threat.
Yeah,
I don't know. Point is, when he's just come back, it's like, what if he's on the bench and ends up cameoing on? That'll drop my 2 points down to 1 point. Uh,
disaster.
Disaster. Um. So yeah, defenders, meh. Attackers, good.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
there's a lot
Brighton
of fun
attack
for attack everywhere actually.
everywhere.
It seems like you can get so. 'Cause, I mean, they're still expecting like 3 goals in the Palace Newcastle game. So if you've got Isak, that's good. It's not so great for Hall, but well, I say that Hall's pretty attacking, right? He
Just
finds
need.
himself in the right space.
This is a bit what we talked about though. This week does feel like you need to get a bit lucky.
Yeah,
Wolves, Bournemouth's a really hard game to call.
yeah, it's the sort of game that could be. I mean, like this one's saying like 2-2 if you round it up. Let's be optimistic, 2-2. It can very well be that kind of game. So I mean, like, would you be playing your 8 Norries this week? I don't know. I mean, it says there's a better chance than playing a Greaves or playing a
Oh, he's
Mikalenko.
playing,
So
mate. This is the badness when your second best defender for the week has a 19% clean chance.
yeah, but like, yeah, yeah. But they score. But they
My
score goals, right? They score goals, and he gets involved. He gets to that end of the pitch.
my defensive options this week, bar Gabriel, have a 19, a 16, a 17, and a 13% chance for clean.
Yeah, I know mine. Well, I suppose I got Porro, haven't I? Yeah, I got Porro.
You got Porro. Porro's a
I
big
got Porro and Hall. Yeah, 21, 27, 27. Cheers.
Porro and Hall is a big upgrade. It's a big upgrade over Mark Gravers this week. Will it play out to cleans? Maybe, maybe not. Like
Yeah.
it's still 27% chances. I don't know. I can't sort of see that making the defensive transfers at the moment is worth it. If you do it, you need to get lucky on it.
Yeah. And then attackers, I mean, like, it's going to be good. You usually say it's going to be good pretty all round. Looking at the big hitters, interestingly, I'm just going to say, interestingly, obviously, Maddison doesn't start tonight, which I think is really interesting. Probably really good for his minutes at the weekend. And for anybody that didn't know, he's actually the 5th highest scoring midfielder in the game, which I don't think we stand here and think that was possible, especially given his, I say limited minutes. It's only really he got dropped and then he sort of came and cameoed and then he got sort of back in.
Yes.
Making it like like an absolute disaster that he's had a little rest, but actually he's like missed one game.
Oh, we had the pot with Dean Ashton, didn't we? And he brought him in because he was the boy at the time. And what we do know at Madison is he gets bonus because he gets fouled all the time and does all the creative stuff. So, yeah, he looks good for it. But with Tottenham in general, this is it now, like through to Christmas. And there's not many games that don't matter for Tottenham. So we play tonight, then we play Sunday against Fulham, then we play Thursday against Bournemouth, then we play Sunday against Chelsea, then we've got Rangers away in the Europa.
Yeah.
So Maddison and Son might get a rest in that game, but I'm not convinced. Then we've got Southampton. Then we've got away though, so it's not again like you can rest that many people for it.
Southampton. Let's call it a good fixture.
It's a good fixture, but I doubt we're going to rest many people. It's
Yeah,
not like you're going to
yeah.
leave Son at home for it, are
No, 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 no.
you? And then we've got Man United in the EFL Cup. And we still get Liverpool game before Christmas.
Yeah, it's Forest on Boxing Day, isn't it?
And then Forest and Boxing Day and Wolves a couple of days
Yeah.
later. It is relentless from here on in for Tottenham.
But I think it's I mean, it's similar for all teams, right? Apart from that League Cup semi, like all teams
It
have got
is.
all teams have got that.
But you do want to trust the players that you know can play all of the minutes.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess the fragility at Spurs at the moment is we're seeing, I mean, the keeper's the keeper, but, we've got injuries. Romero's just coming back, Van der Ven and Mikey Moore's still out for another 3 or 4 weeks. And there's still a bit going. Obviously, Werner's back, which is good-ish. But it's a body at least.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of frailty.
I do think, and there's good attacking options at Tottenham still. Like where you think you can, for example, you play an extra midfielder and you shift and give Brennan a rest. You can give Son a rest. Even if it's just part of the game, you can give Madison a rest. We can give all these guys some rotation through, and we're going to need to rotate a lot. It makes me a little iffy on us, apart from Porro actually. Porro feels like comfortably the best man on minutes.
And I feel like if we can get and I feel like in defence we've probably got a little bit more cover in the sense that Archie Gray is there. So say Romero comes back in theory you could drop Dragic into left hand side centre back. I mean he's just average both sides I think, and then pop Ben Davies in at left back and it's probably okay.
I'd like us to do that. I definitely would like us to do that.
Yeah, and then at least you've got Archie Gray that can cover in on the right hand side for like Europa games, the Rangers game for being a perfect example. Ibrox in December is going to be tough anyway. They're going to want to kick the crap out of us for sure. So let's we just need to be on a captaincy really, don't we, with this one, because you've got a few weeks back, Bumo looked like the person that a lot of people were captaining in this week. He was one that people had nailed on. I think Bumo's just a no on captain now. Well, he's had it's like the last 3 games have been really poor, like no shots on target or something like that. Really just low numbers. So you're looking at this teams here and saying like, right, the other over 2s. Well, I still think Whistler's an option. As captain? Yeah. I mean, spoiler alert. New manager bounce? Spoiler alert. He's on it, is he? Is he? Yeah, committed. Wessa. Yeah, I mean, big chance Brentford at home, mate. They'll get 3 or 4. If you do it and he blanks, would we call Sunday night's pod Careless Wissa? Yeah, why not? Why not? Why the hell not? Careless Wissa. So yeah, but Brentford, Brighton, Chelsea. I don't think you can trust enough people from Tottenham to captain someone. I don't think you can trust enough to captain Man United. And partially that might be positionally because Bruno's the obvious one you would trust, but you're like, I don't know where he's playing now. Yeah. Arsenal are in the mix. It's probably just Saka, isn't it, that you would captain from that. And then you've got Mo. 1.85 expected goals, Liverpool v City. What do you think about the Mo captaincy? I think that I think it's fine. I think it's fine because he's just good, right? He's just going to cause. I mean, Vardiol. It's going to be difficult for Vardiol to get forward, and if he does get forward, then he's just going to find himself with so much space. Yeah, it's just one thing that City have been so bad at is conceding goals on transition, and when you've got someone who's as good as Mo is, then it feels like he's going to get chances. It's pretty obvious he's going to get chances. So yeah. I don't think it's a bad shout. I mean, is it the safe shout? It's probably the EO play as well. I think quite a lot of people will just go there because they've got him, and because he's been because he's been absolutely smashing it. Yeah, it's easy, isn't it? It's done, like, even for me, he's done so well for me the last 3 weeks that you're like, oh, Mo, like, how do I take it off you? Yeah.
watched the Madrid game last night, and the dribbling when he breaks, I don't think he's ever dribbled the ball better. Like
Yeah.
actually, the ball seems like so close to his feet. Obviously, he gets the pen, but that was really the first time that he got that transition break. The first time he got it, it was like, well, he's going to score here, and obviously he gets the pen, which he then misses, which is interesting. I mean, Courtois is so good. I'm pretty sure more than anything else, there's a Courtois influence in that. It felt like he would need to put it right in the corner just to beat him, and
Yeah.
Mo's better at blasting.
I think that's what he did. Is he went to hit it hard and he went as wide as he thought he could go and just went a bit too far. Right. He was never going to chip it down the middle or anything like that.
Whereas Courtois just went for his banker, which is that mid height to on the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
So actually, he had the whole goal to aim at if he just went that side. But yeah, I did watch it and I was like, he's still quite limited in the number of chances that he's getting, Mo. I do think he will get at least one big chance in this game. Do I think he's going to get a hat trick?
No, I think his ceilings. I mean, his ceiling will naturally be lower, in theory, again in games like this. And we've said that. The problem is we've said that in the past when they've gone to Old Trafford and stuff, and he's banked like 5 returns. So that was like 3-4 years ago, and we've seen Palmer do it very recently. Obviously, so it's a bit of a difficult one. You can't really sort of claim the rest thing on the Villa players versus the Chelsea players, like. Because Villa have had an extra 2 days rest, but Palmer doesn't even play in the Europa League, or Conference League, so doesn't really matter. They switch around so many players, So I think it's just on an even keel. You just go like, do I trust Palmer to score twice, 3 times, get 4 returns or whatever at home to Chelsea? I think you can. And I talk like this, but I'm just thinking like I'm just saying in my mind, like Brentford are going to get 5 big chances, 6 big chances at home to Leicester. That's my thinking around Wissa. Because if he gets 2 or 3, then like 2 or 3 big chances. He had one last week, obviously missed.
Yeah,
but they're still, even in a game like that, he gets them. So there's a mention in the chat about Joao Pedro being captain. I think he's an okay captain. I don't think he's a fantastic captain. I think if you want to see what Baker's thoughts were on Joao Pedro, you can go and look at one of the shorts that we did over the thing.
Yeah.
Which is just like, it's just volume's not quite there.
The volume's not quite there. There's a lot of games where he's having one shot, but hey, I definitely don't think he's a bad captain option. I really struggle. It sounds stupid, but I really struggle with captain strikers at the moment because I look at this again and I'm like, Salah's a good cap, Palmer's a good cap, Saka's a good cap, and guess what? They get more points. They get more points. You know, Saka's got a 42% chance of getting a 1 point clean on top of his goal. So, and we just know he's going to get the bonus. If he scores, there's no chance that Saka doesn't get at least 2 bonus. There's almost no chance on it. Like every week, it's absurd on six. So, like it's so easy for Saka to get double digits in any week. It's so easy almost for Mo to get double digits in any week. It's pretty easy for Palmer to get those things. So I'm immediately needing a brace, and I'm like on a striker, and that's the bit where I struggle a bit with the strikers. You know, if you look at should we look at Rob T's the individual ones?
Yeah, we can do that. That's a good place to go actually.
So what I thought was interesting. I don't know if you saw Rob T's one. So we've got this one, but he put one out. I haven't seen him put out before, but he does a goal points one as well, which obviously then converts it, reorganizes it based on what they get for their goals. So suddenly Palmer goes from 3rd to top. Suddenly Son goes from about 7th or 8th down to 3rd. I was like, oh,
okay, right. I see what you mean. Yeah,
because if you've got Palmer on a projected goal of 0.61, well, that's much better than a striker of a projected of 0.67.
It is in isolation, of course.
It is if you're a player that's also almost nailed on for bonus.
You've got to be all action hero as well.
which he is.
Yeah. But things like
So
Bumo being second in that list, he's not all action hero. This is
he's
why.
okay. He's
But he's
okay.
not.
He's
Yeah, but
based
he's
on
not.
14 or something like that.
Yeah, but he's not Palmer. He's not Saka. He's not that level.
No.
And as soon as Wissa scores, like that's it. Like that's game over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas
So like when you
if
look
Havertz
at this
scores,
list,
or if Havertz scores, Saka's still getting top bonus.
yeah, if you look at Rashford or Brennan down it, quite a long way down it, it's like, well, doesn't matter. Like it almost should equate downwards on those guys because they just never get the bonus. Because all they're there for is to score. But you can't argue with it. If Joao Pedro is the most likely to score, you're not going to lose, are you, if he scores?
No, definitely not.
Not really. Like, do you know what I mean? If it's a 9-point goal, you just take that anyway. You've got such a good gain off of the 9-point goal from a guy who's going to be what do you think? 30, 40% owned?
I don't know what he is now, to be honest.
I think he was about 8% owned last week.
So maybe 25, 30, maybe up to like 35 if you include captaincy, 35.
Max, I reckon.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know because people move fast, right? And people are still sitting on.
Yeah.
Sitting on Haaland and wanting to
There'll
move
be
off
some more
Haaland.
wild cards, won't they?
Some wild card. There'll be some Haaland out, and they'll be going straight down to Joao Pedro, freeing up 9 million quid, and just going, yeah, let's have some fun as well.
But it is a really good opportunity. It's especially if you do own a few of the other guys, almost like type stuff of like, I'm not really going to gain a lot, I'm not going to lose a lot. But if this Joao Pedro one comes in and you're on it and it braces,
yeah, you're cooking.
It's a big win. That's the same as you with Wissa, isn't it? You're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, of course.
You're gonna own Mo. You're gonna own Palmer.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you gonna own Bumo? Obviously.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're like, well, one of the other guys up here is Wissa. If he hammers it,
yeah,
I've covered the rest of them.
I've covered the rest of them, and it's only really Salah that's a risk of more than 100, right? Maybe Palmer, but they're going to be like.
But they're not going to hurt.
No, nothing's going to hurt, and Wissa's going to be glorious when he scores a hat trick. Can't wait.
I mean, if he does, like I say, if he does, you get it so much to yourself. He'll be 10% owned, probably at best.
Yeah. Teams?
Or
is there anything else?
Let's just look at anything else here where it's like because obviously the thing with Joao Pedro is you see it when I'm petrified of it. I look at it. There are people without Cunha, and that are selling Haaland. Would you sell Haaland if you were selling Haaland this week? Would you sell him for Cunha or would you sell him for Joao Pedro?
Joao Pedro. Yeah, just sell him for Joao Pedro this week. Like Cunha's
with a plan that you probably get Cunha week after.
Well, I don't feel like. I mean, you probably haven't missed the boat on Cunha, but I mean, again, depends who else you've got. So if you're sitting on, say, I mean, like, who else would you already have as a striker though? Let's say if you're sitting on Haaland, maybe you've got Isak and.
There's a lot of people that have got.
Raul? Like, I'd be getting rid of Raul like straight away. I'd just be like binning him. If that's a -4, then that's a -4, and I get them both.
I mean, he does play Fraser Forster this week.
Yeah, it's fine. He's only conceded 1 goal to Roma so far. It's okay.
It's true.
Would you sell Wissa for Pedro this week for a hit? No.
Because I think that's the thing here, actually. When you look at this, like Wood, Wissa, Evan Nielsen, it's got Wolves.
Yeah.
Jimenez, yeah, I probably would sell Jimenez on it. I'm not sure if I'd sell any of the others for Joao Pedro this week. Certainly not for a hit.
No, definitely not for a hit. I mean, it depends on what you're doing with the money for the Haaland move. Like the Haaland move's okay. Obviously, the Haaland move feels fine actually. Do we see that Konate's okay?
It sounds like it's okay. Yeah.
Somehow, Conor Bradley will be out though.
Don't know about that.
Or is he okay as well?
I think he was going to. I don't think it'd start anyway. I think Trent would have started this weekend.
Oh, Trent's back. Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, of course he is.
Trent would have started this week.
Yeah, Andy's actually definitely back. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So where were we?
Solanke.
I mean, yeah,
I think that's a pretty big decision.
I still think I think it's okay to sell Solanke. It's definitely not on pens.
It's not on pens.
We know that.
Solanke, Joao Pedro this week. Would you do it?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that this is the week. Like, if you can make that move this week, like Solanke, Joao Pedro, fine, like very good. Wood to Joao Pedro, no. Wissa to Joao Pedro, no. Because I mean, if you're selling players that have got Leicester and Ipswich at home, like that's just the wrong week. I don't care who you've got, to be honest. It's just it doesn't matter who you've picked if you're selling them in that particular fixture, unless you're talking about a top 2 side playing basically a bottom side. Like I wouldn't. Like if you had like Wolves versus Southampton and you were transferring to like a Liverpool player versus Ipswich or something like that, I'd probably I can rationalise that in my brain.
Okay.
But to go from, I mean, maybe I'm doing Brighton a disservice here by psychologically I'm thinking of them lower down. They're a great side at the moment. But
I think the other thing about selling Solanke is it's £2 million.
Yeah, there's that.
That's the thing. You sell Wood, you sell Wissa, you're not getting a lot of money out either that you then go, cool, I can do this. But if you sell Solanke to Pedro, it's £2 million. £2 million can be used for a lot of stuff. Højlund's on this list. He's just scored to make it 3-2 Man United. So that's a brace and an assist tonight.
It's good.
That's a problem for Rashford, I think, on the weekend, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it definitely feels like it, especially if Garnacho's getting the other one.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like it.
Yeah, definitely feels like a problem for them.
I mean, again, I've got this I don't like Man United at all, but this semi-soft spot for Højlund, thinking that he was going to come in and do well.
Yeah, I like
it. Could he break out finally and start getting somewhere? Maybe. As long as he gets Bruno assists, to be good.
It's just difficult when, like, Joao Pedro and Cunha are just such obvious picks right now.
Yeah, I definitely. I feel like a work phrase coming, like a business buzz phrase coming in my brain. You need proof of concept. Proof of concept. I need to see Højlund doing well before I can actually invest in him and make a decision around him.
Yeah, so, you don't need to be first on.
He is proof of concept guy, right there.
So.
Let's go you first this week.
Yeah, because I'm done.
You're done. Talk people through it for those that are listening. I'll pour myself a little bit more wine.
So I'm a horrendous person. And the stat, what we've just seen there, all the odds and stuff, don't say this is a good move this week. But I sold our beloved son for Saka on Sunday, straight after we streamed.
But you couldn't have afforded it tonight?
No.
So
I had to go real early. Didn't like going real early, but went early. Even actually, did I do it Saturday night?
No, you did it Saturday night. Yeah.
I did it Saturday night.
Yeah. Did you?
I did it Saturday after we won 4-0.
Yeah, you literally did it.
God, what a horrendous individual.
Yeah. Go check out that short as well.
It's just the number of games we've got. I don't trust the legs for it. I love Son. And I'll happily enjoy everything that he does. But I don't need that investment in my team when I know that Saka is just there and Saka. So very happy with my front seven this week, even if it does not have Joao Pedro in it. So I'll say the front seven first because I don't want to talk about the defense, which is Bumo, Salah, Saka, Palmer, mid, Wood, Isak, and Cunha. Currently got the captain on Palmer as it stands. I do think that the Villa game is better suited to Nico Jackson than it is Palmer almost. And you think about that Ismail Assar goal last week and just the beating of the lines and stuff. And you're like, God, I do worry that. I mean, it could be good for Palmer in terms of assists, but
I was going to say, who do you think? Who else makes those passes at Chelsea You think about who
There's a few guys
runs
that
down.
There's a few guys that
Yeah,
can.
but
Do you know what I mean?
the wingers run, right? The wingers run with the ball. They
Yeah.
love it. I think Palmer's the one that
I
unlocks
think
it.
Palmer's
Yes,
the
you're
one.
probably right in that. He's going to be more likely to get assists than anything else. But
It might more assists, and it probably means Jackson gets top bonus as well.
yes,
But I just trust Palmer in these home games. He's a different beast. And then defense. So Gabriel and Raya. Okay. I'm okay with playing Knight Nori at Bournemouth at home. And then I have a choice between Mikalenko away at Man United, Lewis away at Liverpool, and Greaves away at Forest. Currently got a Mikalenko because I don't know if Greaves or Lewis are even going to play. If there was some really positive news on Greaves, I'd consider it. I might have a chat with Ivan, see what he thinks about whether Greaves gets back in or not. But I might just leave on Mikalenko. Hope for a tired Man United after a midweek game.
I mean they're pretty strong lineup they've put out tonight as well. So it's not like
pretty strong lineup.
Yeah, they will need. They would not like they will need some rest, I should say.
Yeah, and I thought Ipswich, obviously it was a different game because Ipswich were at home, but I thought Ipswich did a good job against their fresh Everton. Hope for the best for it, but at the moment it's Mikalenko, but it's I've got no hope. I've got no hope for points from that.
Fair enough.
So nothing in the bank, no free 0.0 in the bank, not free transfers. I'm out of money.
You're done. Okay, so I've got $1 million in the bank. I've got one free transfer. I'm desperately. I almost messaged you earlier, just saying like, whatever happens, don't let me make a transfer. I was in the almost take my password, change it type of vibes. I just don't want to make a transfer this week because I don't think it's necessary for me to do so. So
no,
the only player that I absolutely hate is Emi Martinez. Like I just don't understand it. Like you can one clean sheet against United this season, failed to keep clean sheets against absolutely everyone else, bar a penalty save, but it still conceded in that game, and yet keeps clean sheets against Bayern and Juve in the Champions League. Like piss off, seriously. How annoying is that? But I've got Martinez in goal. I've got Lewis Hall, Porro, and Gabriel at the back. Bruno, Brian, Mo, Palmer, 4 midfielders, 4 big midfielders at home, which is nice. And then Solanke, Wissa, Cap, and Cunha. So I've got all front 7 at home, which I absolutely love, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel really good about it. I'd have Johnston in. I'd have Johnston in if he was playing, but I don't. So could I do something stupid like Martinez to Forster? I don't know, maybe.
I've got 2 questions for you.
You always do.
One is
do this.
One is, why don't you just put Johnston in goal? Would you feel better about your team if you just put him in goal?
Yes, which I probably will do.
Do that.
Yeah.
Then at least, if he auto subs in, you go, damn it, he auto subbed in again.
Yeah.
Secondly, because we know you love hedging more than anything else in the world, are you slightly put off Palmer Cap because you own Emi Martinez?
It actually hadn't crossed my mind. It hadn't actually crossed my mind.
That's good. That's good.
So that wasn't the reason why Palmer doesn't have it.
That's good.
But maybe
just need to check in on your hedge games.
Johnston now needs to go in, so at least I can't see Palmer against Martinez. I didn't even think about it just then.
That's good. That's good. I suddenly was like, hold on. When I saw the vice on Palmer, I was like, has he moved the captaincy off because of hedging?
No. Vice was on.
Captaincy is just so much more important than hedging this week.
No, Vice was on Salah. I was like, well, just move it to Palmer because it's probably better being there.
It is an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's funny you say about Wissa with it, but like I said at the start, I think a lot of us were assuming would put the captaincy on Bumo, and the main reason is that we don't want to put it on it is because the big chances are falling to Wissa, not to Bumo. So it does make some sense. Logical. There is logic to it.
And if they fall to Bumo, no one's capped him, so I've got him, so it's okay. It's not terrible. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I need a couple to fall to Wissa though.
the goal involvement's been so big between the pair of them, and they're home to Leicester. If they bang 3 in,
I mean, it could be 4-3, and it wouldn't matter whatsoever to me, because in theory they should be all over the returns.
yeah, you need a goal from Leicester because of bloody Flecken.
Well, yeah, not really for Wissa if he scores.
Yeah,
Should be okay.
but yeah, move Johnston in, and then the hedge is gone.
Yeah, this is true. I like it.
There's no reason to make a transfer. That team is so much better than.
There's no, yeah. You take 12 points in hits or whatever it was. 12 points in hits. I mean, I had zero intention of making a transfer this week. I need to get to 2 to give me some buffer so I don't sort of panic, and because I could continue chasing points. You know, I told you the move I was looking at earlier, which I was like, I was 0.1 short of, was like Emmy and Bruno, which I'm taking Bruno out at this point. Emmy and Bruno to Forster and Saka would have been like, that's dream points chasing, but just can't afford it.
If I think it's a really interesting decision next week for people with Bumo and Bruno, because they're both still really good assets for their price. They're both on pens. They both, still have some form of talisman for the team, albeit it doesn't feel quite as talisman as it once was for either of the two of them. I think a lot of people are looking at selling one of them that have both. And I'm not sure what's the right one to sell.
But I'll have 2 transfers, so I can choose to do both if I want.
You could do both.
Could do both. I'm just thinking
1 million in the bank, isn't it? So you could do.
Yeah, because I probably don't want to sell. Yeah, because they've got. Where are they? I've got all the way down there. Villa. Yeah, so Villa and then United away at Arsenal. So yeah, I think like Bruno to Saka was probably something I was looking at. I just need to figure out where the money's coming from for that one.
Yeah.
Just trying to work it out in my brain now.
Makes
Don't
sense.
know whether Wissa to Joao Pedro is enough. Don't think it is quite.
No.
Might be.
No, it's not. It's not. It's only about 500,000.
Well, we can figure that out next week anyway. We
will.
We're done, mate. Should we go and watch the rest of the Spurs Roma game?
We go watch the rest of the Spurs Roma game.
Thank you to the 125 of you that have joined. 1 in 5 of you have liked the stream so far. If you want to like it on the way out, that would be really, really great. We would really appreciate it. But we'll be back on Sunday. We're desperately trying to get Andy Martin on, but we just keep screwing up on timing. See, we were going to go at 5 o'clock today, which would have not worked for Andy, but we've had some kids being ill. So
yeah, imagine that so I text you just after that, after what would have been when we were streaming, to say my son was projectile vomiting.
Exactly.
I would have been in trouble. If I was streaming while the wife was dealing with that, I'd have been in trouble because it was a 2-man job.
So we come back to our original time, and Andy's already agreed to work later. So there's all sorts of things going on. We're trying to make it happen. We're trying to get Andy on. There's a few other people we want to try and get on as well before the end of the year. Planning on taking my PC down over Christmas as well, so we don't have any issues with the PC and the Wi-Fi and all this sort of stuff. So really going to try and make sure we do as much as we can. I think if we're not doing team selections, I think we might have a watch along or something like that next week or week after or something. We've got some midweek stuff going on, just so we can keep at least doing two pieces of content a week. Putting out a bunch of shorts as well, which is basically just the long form content again for you, but in short, snappy bits. And yeah.
If anyone's watched the short, I mean, you've massively stepped up the old shorts game. So on the TikTok, on the YouTube shorts, they're great. Like, go watch them.
Sounds good. Right, let's get to watching Spurs. Guys, good luck for Game Week 13, and we will see you on Sunday. Cheers.
See you, mate.